So, hi everybody, I'm Richard Bowdler and I'm the founder of City Memory and the co-author of The Learning Code. I teach people to pass professional exams, and specifically I teach memory improvement and study skills for people with professional exams so that they can pass exams more quickly, more easily, have more confidence doing it, and just remove any fear that people have taking professional exams. Any fear of losing their job or any fear of failing exams and looking stupid, and also creating creating an environment where people just feel like they can perform. And that's the nature of what I do. So this could be something that you've faced, where you've got professional exams to take, and either your job is on the line for you to pass them, or you're just stuck in a rut, and what it requires for you to take your career to the next level is for you to just knock these professional exams on the head. And you may well be facing like a busy life, full-time job, you've got a social life and a family, etc., etc., and you're struggling to find time to fit in the revision. And when you do, what often happens is that you sit down to learn something and you think, well, what's the point, because I'm only going to forget it, 1 month, 1 week down the line, and, how am I going to pass all these professional exams? So that's what I do. And, my journey is that I studied chemistry at university, and maybe like a lot of other students, didn't do as much work as I should have done in the first couple of years, and came to do my finals degree, and came into the third year, and I had, I freaked out slightly. That was pretty much it. So I started the third year, and I thought, right, how am I going to get this chemistry degree into my head? I need to graduate. So I spent the first couple of months of that year digging deep and researching into lots of different methods about what was going to be the best way to learn information. And I read countless books on it. Like, I bought courses from that I'd found online and in newspapers, and studied how to learn most effectively, and started to implement it and really put that into practice in all of my learning for my chemistry degree. And I have to say, I didn't get exactly what I wanted, so I got a high 2-1 and graduated. Not too shabby by any stretch of the imagination. And since then, what I've done is, post-graduation, I've gone on to teach what I learnt to other people, and have since developed the techniques and trained myself up. To be able to memorize large quantities of information in a very short space of time. So I've entered memory competitions and been able to memorize vast amounts of information very quickly. And then, a few years after graduating, I decided to pursue a career in finance, and I got a job offer after going for interview, and it was a conditional offer on the grounds that I pass some FSA exams so that I could be registered as a stockbroker within a short space of time. And with the system that I'd developed, I applied what I'd learnt and what I'd been teaching to other people, mainly students, and applied it to the exams that I was taking at the time. Those were the Securities and Investment Institute exams, and that was back in 2006. So passed those exams in less than a week, and normally it takes people several weeks to several months. So with the system that I developed, it was really easy for me to do that. Not only that, but to learn the information for a long time. And I realised that, that wasn't the career for me, so worked as a stockbroker for a short while, but then realised that a lot of people were in the same situation that I was in when I went to go and get that job. And realised that I had a really valuable skill that I could teach to other people. That is, learn a lot of information and take it with you for the rest of your career. So, those are the results that I've got. And what I do now is teach people with finance exams, law exams, doctors, pilots, school children, CEOs, to retain vast amounts of information and to really make the most of your mind. And typically, I'm just going to talk about the system that I use so that you can see what it is, and just to consider like how people normally go about learning information. That is, you read a few chapters or you read a few pages, you take some notes, maybe make some notes in a margin, then take some notes on a notepad and then do some highlighting, and then reread your notes, and then reread them again, and then read again and again and again. And I'm not saying that this just doesn't work, period, but it's missing some really crucial elements that will transform the way that you learn information forever. So that is the old way of learning information. And yes, there's certain elements that are really useful to do, like obviously you have to read your textbook, you've got to understand the information in the first place. So that's obviously still of use. And other elements that you need to take on board, that I'm going to come to, really help you cement information in your mind for the long term. So that, okay, sure, you can just jump through some hoops and pass some exams, but if you really want to master your career and excel in your industry, then this is vital for you to take on board. And it looks like this. So the system, very, very simply, is based on a number of different techniques that I've pieced together. Some of them are ancient techniques and some are based on modern neuroscience. So the first thing to do is look at your syllabus and break it down into its relevant parts. So for example, whatever syllabus you have, maybe you're studying an MBA and that's got 9 main topics. So the first thing to do is just go, okay, right, this is my syllabus, let's go through it, let's see how many different topics there are, and just get to grips with that. And the second thing to do is to figure out where you're going to store this information. And so when I say where you're going to store this information, I literally mean you're going to take this information and store it in buildings. So choose a building for each of your topics in your syllabus, and that's the second step. What that looks like is, so for example, I did this with a client of mine who's an exec MBA student who's working in Mayfair, and we walked around Berkeley Square in the centre of Mayfair in London, and we used a large building for each topic, and so I just walked around the square and did that. And this is based on an ancient Greek technique called method of loci, and literally it means method of places. And so what you do is you take information and you store it in specific locations. So that's the next step. The step after that is, with each of the bits of information, you want to make it really memorable. So at the moment it might just be, right, I've got to study marketing and ethics and accounting and finance and and that's fine. You may well have a deep passion for it as well. I'd hope that you would if it's something that you're studying and something that you're doing with your life. And you can make it really satisfying for you to recall that information visually. So what there is to do is take each topic, so each main topic, and turn each topic into an image. So you look at marketing and create an image out of that you naturally associate with marketing. So maybe something like Jamie Oliver down a market, and that's what you think of when you think of marketing. And do this for each of your different topics. So for ethics, maybe you'd imagine somebody being very ethical, like maybe a hippie and a fluffy rabbit, because that's along the theme of being very ethical. And you can imagine the hippie and stroking the fluffy rabbit, and that's an image that you naturally think of when you think of ethics. So the way that it works is, as soon as you look at